Shout out Sean Cannell and Think Media for this piece of information. Apparently, 78% of us want to start our own business, want to be our own boss, but only 6% of us do. So let's talk about what you should do, how you should do it, how starting a small business, part-time, whatnot. Is it a dream that's just not worth it? Obviously, we have Cody Sanchez, Alex Ramosi, Layla Homozy, Gary V, all these folks talking like entrepreneurship is the only way. I'm here to tell you there's nothing wrong with the W-2 for a lot of people, and I would argue most. But hey, what about doing something on the side over a couple of years that becomes your main thing? I think that is a very interesting strategy and one that I truly wish I had done. We're going to have this conversation with Bo Eckstein, the concierge of small business lending. How you doing, Bo?
I am doing well. I'm got up really early for some reason. Like I was up at like 2:30. I went
Oh
to
my
bed.
goodness. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. Well, you are about to welcome a baby boy to the family, so get used to getting up early. It's that will that will not be a new thing in a few weeks.
I know. I know.
Well, hey, let's get into the topic at hand. I know there's a lot of folks that are kind of preaching starting a small business, quitting your job, going all in, burn the boats. I think that's a recipe for disaster, but I love the idea. In fact, I have an interview coming out today with Kelly Roach, who went from being a top employee to an eight-figure entrepreneur. I'm sorry, nine-figure entrepreneur, 100 million bucks, nine figures. So that interview comes out, and I was just intrigued by how you go from employee to entrepreneurship. So let's talk about that. When should you do it? How do you do it? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I think with tax day looming here, we all know that the tax code wasn't written for W-2 employees. It's written for small business owners. So regardless of anything, you should own a small business, even if you love your job. Because I talk to so many people making two, three, four, five, $600,000 a year, and they have no write-offs. It's like,
Yeah,
guys, got to wake up and smell the coffee. Like,
yeah,
let's keep that extra 30% that you're paying in taxes by offsetting by owning businesses and understanding that strategy. I don't know why people don't really talk about it enough, and I think it's just the CPAs that are talking about it
mm,
because that's their business. But I think really understanding tax code and tax strategy
yeah,
as an investor is crucial. So yeah, I mean, I believe that everybody should own a business, and I believe that everybody should not leave their W-2 job, just like you said. But I think I think what I see is that more and more people want to take the plunge. They want to
mhm,
do it. So we're here to try to help them do it.
mhm,
And I think it's a combination of, identifying the right time, having a passion and vision, and then also your risk management strategies.
yeah,
Like you shouldn't do it if you got no money in the bank, most likely.
yeah. Well, I think there's a lot here. I mean, let's just catch people up to stuff that you and I talked about last week. So, one of the things that you and I talked about again, I sent you, I think it was a text, might have been an email. I'm saying, hey, what 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 would it cost me to buy 5 vending machines in Las Vegas, right? This is a text communication you or I are on. So you're out there working with a couple of folks to kind of put that together. But I was left thinking about that because that could be something I could have done when I had my tech job, right? Vending could have been one of those things that I could have still busted my ass 60 hours a week. I could have paid some kid or someone to go, populate the stuff. I just think there are some things that full-time employees can look at, and you and I are talking about vending now just because I want to lead by example. And if we could find a deal structure that makes sense, I'll buy it and just keep showing the channel what's possible. So there are other things besides vending, but that was just something you and I talked about last week.
Yeah, I like vending. I think it's simple. You spend about 1 hour per week per machine, and you can track everything on an app now using technology. Obviously, you're not going to be coin based. You're gonna be
Yep.
app
Credit card.
pay and
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. So I do like that. And you can also like those machines. You can write off 100%. I'm not a CPA, but you can
Yeah.
write off that $8,000 brand new machine against earned income. So, like, I would just ramp. What I would do is just ramp up. I'd start with 4 or 8, and then I would
Yeah.
build, right, and then I would be, looking at. It's really about location based, putting them in the right spot. So you got to. There's a learning curve to everything. You got to learn the business. It's not like set it and forget it. You
Mhm.
still have to like, I think a lot of people, I got on a call with somebody the other day and he's a one rental guy, really smart younger guy. He lives in Indiana and he was, we were talking about franchises and he's like, well, he works as a software engineer. He makes about 200K a year and he has a bunch of rental properties. They weren't cash flowing, so he converted them to midterm rentals, and now he's making. I think he clears close to 100 grand a year
Oof,
on that, right? And so
nice.
I forgot his age, but he's fairly young. And then we started talking about. I showed him a bunch of business models, and I was like, at the end of the conversation, it was like I showed him vending. It's a business. It's going to be work. You got to
Mhm.
understand that. And so I think there's different stages of growth too. I think when you're talking about your tech career, you were in sales, so I'm figuring you weren't like, minimum wage type of guy. You were probably doing fairly
I was
well.
doing okay. Yeah.
Yeah, compared to the average
Mhm.
Joe. I think there's a difference, right? There's the guy that's making 60 grand a year,
Mhm.
and there's the guy or girl that's making 3 to 500 a year in the,
Mhm.
corporate world. There's a
Sure.
huge difference. I
Sure.
think if it was me, if I was making the 60, I could go buy into a franchise and do an owner operator model and create a six
Oh
figure
yeah,
business,
easy. Yeah.
right? So I think the conversation has to be general, but also like put yourself in the perspective of I'm not making 400 grand a year. I'm making less than 100.
I
I
love
would
it.
be taking action more
Yeah.
faster.
I think that's a great kind of pivot, if you will. I think you're right. I think if you're out there and you're busting your ass making somebody else rich and you're only making 50 or 60K a year, I think there's something you could do for yourself. Of course, it won't be easy, a learning curve, all of those kind of caveats, but lots of people do it all the time. And then there are the people that make multiple six figures who hopefully are saving a large portion of that versus inflating their lifestyle. And that they should look for at least semi-passive things that will become something. Because one of the things that was important to me that I wish I did different was I should have been building what is now one rental at a time brand for a decade before I quit, as opposed to starting a month after I quit. And I want people that are in a job, engineers, doctors, dentists, anybody that's making multiple six figure to realize there will be some time in the future that you don't do that or you don't want to do that. So start building a brand or something on the side. And if you are maybe a contractor, right? And you could go create little or you could get into franchises that just become little bolt-ons like Cody Sanchez talks about, right? Bolt these things on, become a portfolio and sell it off as a unit. I mean, there's so many ways that you can do this. And I'm just glad that you come back every week as the concierge to small business to have these discussions.
Yeah, you know what would be interesting if anybody's listening, reach out to one of us and we should like each week or once in a while, at least once a month, get somebody on that owns a small business,
Oh, that'd be
and
fun.
maybe even has their corporate job, whether you own some vending machines or
Yeah.
you own car washes. I think that would be a fabulous conversation because I do talk to a lot of interesting people. I think if we could share those stories with others, I think
I
that
think that would be a
be
great idea.
yeah.
So typically, folks, Bo and I speak 10:30 Pacific on Wednesdays. So if you are someone who is part of the One Rental at a Time community, and hopefully you've spoken with Bo at least once, let us know. Actually, you know what? Reach out to Bo. Bo, how should they reach out? What's the website?
Yeah, just go to onerentalmeeting.com, onerentalmeeting.com. Yeah, whether you want some financing, you're looking to buy a business, or potentially you'd love to share what you're doing with
Yeah,
the
it'd be fun.
the tribe here, I think that would be amazing because it's no. I did talk to a gentleman and he was doing vending and he's crushing it with his vending. I mean, like making like
Mm,
3 to probably 5x what a normal vending machine does, and he gets into schools and so I think that would open people's minds of like he had like 6 of them,
uh-huh.
and I mean he was making more than most people make per month just on those machines. Plus, he had a corporate job,
Mm.
making big bucks, and he owns a car wash. Like people like that, I find extremely interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they want to come on and share their story and show us what's possible. One rental at a time is all about taking real life stories and sharing them. So if you want to do that, go to onerentalmeeting.com. Reach out to Bo. If you want to ask about vending or buying a business or small business loans, he is the man. That's who I trust and go to. I might as well ask you about interest rates. I know mortgage rates have really spiked the last 48 hours. I have no idea how small business loans are priced, but I'm guessing you saw a bump in rates, but I have no idea.
Well, our SBA 7A loans are based on Wall Street Journal Prime. It's still at 8.5% for the
Mhm.
7A loan. The
All right.
504, which is a first and second, actually the rates have been coming down.
Hmm.
The new debenture rates will be released mid-month, but last month it was 6.28
Oh,
on the
wow.
debenture rate for SBA 504. So they're pretty attractive.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, look, even paying, even if you're at the worst rate, which is prime plus 275,
Mhm.
2.75, means your rate's 11 and a quarter. You price
Okay.
it into the deal on the business acquisition. And when prime drops, your rate drops. So like, I just look at it like it's the cost of doing business. And if the
Yep.
deal pencils out,
Yeah.
make moves, make moves. Now's the time to make moves.
There you go. Folks, Bo, you're amazing, man. Thank you for being a part of the family. One more time, where should they go to ask questions?
OneRentalmeeting.com.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.